Are you ready?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Across the Laighin, your one-stop shop for all things Leinster. We have a bumper show in store for you this month with a particular focus on our charity partners. Coming up on Across the Laighin, we follow Daniel Dunne, Leinster's newest mascot, from a surprise player stop by at his school all the way to the Aviva on match day. We catch up with Marco Caputo and find out what the holiday season has in store for the scrum coach. We take a look at an amazing day spent at Leinster Charity partner LauraLynn, and we'll bring you details of this year's Schools Cup and Towns Cup draws. All this along with our usual highlights, league tables and previews here on Across the Laighin. First up on this month's show, Special Olympic athlete Daniel Dunne was surprised by Dominic and Marty, who delivered his ticket and jersey for the Quins match. We follow his journey all the way from Ballinamuir, County Offaly to the pitch at the Aviva Stadium.
So, what's your name?
My name is Daniel.
And Daniel, what club are you playing with?
Ballinamuir.
And what's your favourite team?
Leinster.
And look to your right there, Daniel.
Where are you? Congratulations. I have a jersey here for you for next week. Hey Daniel, Dominic's my name. And here's some tickets for the game. Now, how's that?
And myself and Dominic delighted to come out and present him with his jersey and tickets. It's going to be a huge day for him and great experience, and I think it'll be a proud day for his family as well when he runs out with the lads.
1, 2, 3.
Next up on Across the Laighin, Leinster scrum coach Marco Caputo fills us in on what will be on the table Christmas Day, the Pro 12 clashes with Connacht and Munster, and his time in Leinster so far.
Look, I think you'd probably take a white Christmas if it was offered to you. We've seen it plenty of time in the movies, so it'd be nice to actually live the experience here. But look, yeah, nice just sort of being in a real sort of wintry Christmas environment. I do fancy myself in the kitchen, and very keen to throw the apron on whenever the opportunity presents itself. It'd be nice to actually have the turkey and all the trimmings that go with it, with a nice cool environment. Unfortunately, probably not going to be able to indulge as much as I'd like, because we've got the big match with Munster away on Stephen's Day, so that'll restrict my intake somewhat. So I'll have to show a little bit of discipline around the dining room table. We've got a 5-year-old girl, Millie, and she's already written her wish list to Santa, and that's gone in the mail. So hopefully Santa's good and is able to tick off one or two of those items on that list. We're back into Pro 12, we've got Connacht, and then we've got Munster on Stephen's Day. So look, it's just full steam ahead. Every time we prepare, we've got to be really good and diligent, because as I said, every game counts at this time of year. think the days of teams underestimating Connacht are truly gone. Look, the way that they've played this year, they've probably outperformed everyone's expectations. And I guess from a Leinster point of view, we certainly haven't forgotten the experience that we had earlier in the year over at the showground there. So there's some motivation there definitely for the group. We're really looking forward to hosting them and I guess really sort of establishing ourselves in the Pro 12, and we're really looking forward to putting our best foot forward on that occasion, definitely. Munster seem to have sort of grown a leg over the last month or so when they've played down there at Thornton Park, so it's a challenge. We certainly haven't forgotten the time that we played them at the Aviva and the experience there, and there's definitely a feeling within the group that we want to sort of right that wrong. I think Claremont, my old club, gave everyone a bit of a blueprint as to how you can sort of nullify the Thornton Park factor and the silencing the crowd and the type of game that you've got to bring there to be successful down there. You know, it has been definitely challenging. In saying that, I've enjoyed every bit of it. It's exactly what I was looking for as far as being involved with the team and the challenges. A big club like Leinster and the profile and the support has just been outstanding. And I've just got it's just surpassed all of my expectations, and it's been great right from day one.
Rickard, Kane and James spent a brilliant day at Leinster's charity partner LauraLynn. We find out who was the best at foot painting, blue Santa hats, and how you can help LauraLynn continue their great work.
What we do is we find what's needed best for families. So we provide respite, we provide home support, transitional care and end-of-life care to those families when they need it. So to give families as many choices as we can. We've been chosen as the Leinster Charity of the Year, so it's an incredibly exciting day. Apart from all the Christmas decorations going up, we have 3 of the Leinster players here today. They've got to meet all the children and the families, and we've got to show them some of the facilities.
I must say, very impressed with what's going on here, the type of people they are and what they sacrificed to work here and the good work they do for the families and the kids that need all the help they can. Something like Laura and I experienced this for the first time now today, and I must say really impressed and kind of opened my eyes a bit. Yeah, it was brilliant. Walked around, they showed us around the facilities, and then we got to do a bit of fun stuff, some hand and foot painting, which I obviously did really well in because my other painting skills on the windows weren't as great.
I'm going to have to do this all over again, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's my best to again.
Thanks to Leinster, they've kindly invited us to the Leinster Connacht game, Friday the 19th of December. We're going to be selling these lovely blue Leinster and LauraLynn Santa hats. If everybody could buy one of those, it would be fantastic so that we could provide care and support for more children and more families this Christmas.
The Santa, it's just another fundraising thing we think over Christmas, over the festive times, where we think of the families that are not as fortunate as us, and it's just something you can do at the Leinster Connacht game on Friday. So hopefully people get a bit chilly and cold and grab themselves one of these.
Make sure you buy your LauraLynn Santa hat this Friday.
Next up, the Bank of Ireland Leinster Schools Cup and Towns Cup draw took place this month. We take a look at the draw and how the tables and pools line up.
It's a great pleasure to welcome you here to the 2015 Bank of Ireland Leinster Schools Cup draw in association with Beesham Solicitors. We're here in the beautiful surroundings of the House of Lords in College Green. It's a real jewel in the crown. This is part of the first purpose-built Parliament building anywhere in the world. A very historic setting and a very historic room for what is an integral part of the Leinster Rugby calendar.
First up was the Father Godfrey Cup, with the High School and School Congleash receiving a bye into the second round. Skerries meet CBC Monkstown, it's St Andrews against St Fintan's, Catholic University School versus Maynooth, Temple Ogue will take on De La Salle, Wesley against New Park, and lastly CBS Nace against St Patrick's. The Junior Schools Cup was up next. Belvedere will take on St Gerard's. The second qualifier from the Father Godfrey Cup will meet St Michael's. Castleknock have been drawn against the first qualifier. Terenure take on St King's Hospital. Cistercian College Roscrea will take on St Mary's College. It's Gonzaga against Newbridge. Kilkenny against Presentation Bray. And finally Clongowes versus Blackrock. Next up, the Vinnie Murray Cup, with St Mary's and Temple Ogue receiving a bye. Next out, King's Hospital against Gorey. Presentation Bray versus St Patrick's Navan. St Columbus versus St Fintan's. The High School against Skerries. Tullow against Castleknock. And Wilson's Hospital against St Gerard's. Then to the Senior Schools Cup. Belvedere take on Gonzaga. Wesley against Cistercian College Roscrea. Kilkenny will face Newbridge. It's Qualifier 1 from the Vinnie Murray Cup taking on St Andrews. Clongowes Wood against Qualifier 2. Terenure against Blackrock. St Michael's against St Mary's. And Catholic University taking on CBC Monkstown. And moving on to the Towns Cup draw, which took place at the Ballsbridge Hotel. The second round byes were Dundalk, Newbridge, Ashbourne and Skerries at Tullamore. The draw sees Naas take on Port Arlington, Midland Warriors against Wicklow, Navan against Athy, Longford against North Kildare, Roscrea will take on Portlaoise, New Ross take on Wexford. It's Boyne against Clondalkin, Kilkenny versus County Carlow, Tullow versus Kildara, Eden Derry versus Enniscorthy, and finally Gorey taking on Mullingar. This month saw Ian Madigan score over 600 career points for Leinster. He now sits in third place behind Messrs Sexton and Contapomi. It was also announced that Ashbourne RFC referee Helen O'Reilly will be the first female referee to be appointed to the IRFU national panel. For more great Leinster TV content, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also be sure to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. There was lots of action in the Pro 12 and Champions Cup this month. To the Guinness Pro 12 first, with a try-scoring bonus point draw against Benetton Treviso. Then a hard-fought win over competition leaders Ospreys at home, with Jimmy Gopperth edging Leinster to a victory in the closing minutes. Moving on to the Champions Cup, and in the first of the back-to-backs, Leinster suffered defeat in a tough encounter against Conor O'Shea's side. Second encounter with Quins was a tense and tight competition at the Aviva Stadium in front of a huge crowd. Leinster held on to snatch victory. The final score 14 points to 13. Having drawn with Treviso and winning over the Ospreys, Leinster stay in fifth with 28 points, while leaders Ospreys slip to second behind top of the table Munster on 32 points. A disappointing loss to Quins in the back-to-back clashes, and a win at the Aviva leaves Leinster in joint first place with Harlequins on 13 points. There's a feast of rugby over the holidays and New Year, with action spread across both competitions. In the Pro 12 this Friday, the men from the West travel to the RDS with a kick-off time of 7:35. A mouth-watering Christmas clash takes place on St Stephen's Day at Thomond Park with a kick-off of 5 o'clock. Followed by a New Year's clash with Ulster at home in the RDS on Saturday the 3rd at 2:40. That leads us to our last Pro 12 fixture of January, away to Cardiff Blues, Saturday the 10th, kicking off again at 2:40. Then it's Champions Cup time again for rounds 5 and 6 against Cast on the weekend of the 16th, followed by an away fixture against Wasps on the weekend of the 23rd at the Ricoh Arena. Don't forget, all tickets are available on leinsterrugby.ie. That's all we have time for this month, folks. For more in-depth features, news and tickets, be sure to check out leinsterrugby.ie. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching and have a great Christmas and New Year from all of us here at Leinster Rugby.